Hey everybody, this is Darren Sabedra again, Bay Area News Group, Mercury News, East Bay Times, here with Nathan Canilao, Christian Babcock, and Joseph Dycus. Guys, we've reached the finish line for the regular season. It's this weekend. We're heading into week 11. We have some championships on the line as we move into playoff mode starting next week. We have league championships that will be decided. St. Francis can win an outright league title in the WCAL. Acalanes can do the same in the DAL Foothill. I think Sequoia can do the same in its league in its division of the PAL. Gunn and Jefferson battling it out. Willow Glen and Leland. We got a lot of stuff going on this week, but we also have some news. Joseph, fill us in on what's happening at El Cerrito.
So news broke yesterday or last night, we're taping this on Tuesday, that the El Cerrito football team expected to be put on probation, not probation, on a ban from the playoffs. And so that was reported last night or Monday night. And then on Tuesday morning, a report came out that the team is in fact being banned from the playoffs by NCS, and that the school is also being put on probation for 2 years in terms of all their athletic teams. And so that's what we know so far. Obviously, El Cerrito has been in the news for the last I guess, month. Their coach, Jacob Rincon, has been reported to be on administrative leave since, I believe, the second week of the season. And then about 2 weeks ago, it was reported that the school was forfeiting their first 5 victories after it was found that they were using ineligible players. So El Cerrito was, according to CalPreps, one of the best teams in the NCS, and this definitely shakes things up.
Right, and CalPreps doesn't take into account forfeits, so El Cerrito was up there with the big boys, which is really going to affect that division. I doubt that the NCS will leave that spot open in terms of bye, since they haven't even had their seating meeting yet. So my guess is that they're going to fill that with 8. So somebody at the very bottom of NCS is going to get lucky to get in the playoffs in one of the lower in the last division, and somebody unlucky who was going to be the number 1 seed in Division 2 is now suddenly going to be the 8th seed in Division
1 open.
Division 1/open, and we all know what that means.
A short trip up to De La Salle.
A trip to Concord to play De La Salle. So somebody's going to be have some misfortune. I think we looked at the rankings. I mean, they can change this weekend depending on what the results, but I think, was it Liberty? Liberty yes. Was the 9th team yes. In NCS in the rankings. If they go by that, which means Liberty, instead of having a realistic opportunity to win an NCS championship and go on to the state playoffs, will instead have to play a team that is playing on a far superior level than anybody else in the Bay Area this season. So unfortunate all the way around. So anyhow, Christian, you got some big games in the South Bay on Thursday. You're going to be in Willow Glen to see the Rams at 9-0 take on Leland. We're going to send Glenn Reeves on Thursday out to Gunn, where they'll be playing Jefferson. League titles on the line in both of those divisions. What are you looking forward to about what's unfolding in the South Bay?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's kind of unique having 2 games that are so important on a Thursday, but both of these will decide league titles. It'll be fun getting back to Willow Glen. That was actually the site of the first game I covered all year, and they beat Lincoln San Jose pretty handily. And at that time, I'm not sure I foresaw a 9-0 season, but they definitely looked like a good team. I think they've continued to be that week over week. They've continued to improve. They run the ball really well. And, Leland's had a great season too. So I think it should be a great game. And kind of same thing with Gunn. No one really expected them in the PAL Lake to have the kind of season they did. And they are well positioned for a 10-0 season also. So great stories in the South Bay this year.
Definitely. And a team you're familiar with, you've seen a few times, St. Francis also down there in Mountain View. They're going to be traveling to San Francisco on Saturday to play Riordan for a chance to win the outright WCAL title. So we'll have our eyes on that. Joseph is planning on being there on Saturday. Before we get to the picks, Nathan, you got a big game in your neck of the woods in Livermore, where your alma mater, Granada, is going to be playing for a league championship against its arch rival Livermore, which is also going for that league championship. What do you think the buzz will be? What's the buzz right now in Livermore, and what do you think it's going to be like on Friday night?
I think it's going to be ruckus. I've said before that it doesn't matter what the records are between these two teams. The rivalry goes back very far. I think both schools opened in the 1960s. And I think Granada and Livermore, it's one of the more underrated rivalries here in the Bay Area. If we're being honest. It's the community comes together. I've had some phone calls with some community members and people who are teachers and even some old alumni who have just said, that this is going to be big, and I think a lot of people are going to turn out Friday. And I think an underrated storyline too. We've seen this happen before. I did some research. I believe in 2017, both teams played each other, not for a league title, but they played each other, and it was a crucial game for NCS seeding, and they ended up playing each other in the first round of the NCS. So it's a lot of things on the line here. I think it's going to be a fun environment, and should be a really good game. Two very, very good teams, I think, that are in that Valley division of the EBAL.
Very true. And you know what? As we're talking here, I just realized, and nobody caught us on this. Do I have this game even on our list?
No. We're gonna have to add that.
We're gonna we're gonna add a 16th game, it looks like. So we're gonna do this off of the top of our heads without any research. So look for game 16. We'll have to call Mike Lefkow to see what his pick is. If somebody wants to text him and ask him while we're doing the show right now, he has 20 minutes to respond. Somebody send him a text. My bad. Didn't get that game in there. But anyhow, let's start with the picks. I'm ready to roll. We're going to start on Thursday night, where it will be Jefferson at 7-2, traveling to Gunn. This is for the PAL Lake Division Championship. I'm going with Gunn. Lefkow's going with Gunn. The computer's going Gunn 21-17. Christian, are you going with Gunn too?
Yes, I am. Seeing them in person, and they were playing, when I saw them against Monte Vista, they were playing without their starting quarterback, who I believe has come back now. I mean, they can run the ball really well. They're a physical football team. They play excellent defense. They're giving up, I don't know what it is, somewhere between like 3 and 7 points a game. And they're at home, and they have an opportunity for a 10-0 season, which is pretty special. And I think they're going to grasp that opportunity with both hands and get it done.
And this is for a playoff berth, because the loser is not expected to make the playoffs. Nathan, you going with Gunn, or you think Jefferson's going to make the trip down to Palo Alto and pull out another victory?
I'm going with the boys from Daly City. I think Jefferson and that O-line, I think they're going to win this game. I think they've just been rolling. They played some tough competition to start the year, but 7 straight wins so far. I'm going to go with Jefferson.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gunn. I do think it would be pretty disappointing if you're Gunn to win 9 games and still be left out of the playoffs. I think they're gonna go 10-0 and be that last team in CCS.
There you go. Game 2 on the list, also Thursday night, where Willow Glen, another 9-0 team from the South Bay / Lower Peninsula, going to be playing Leland. This is also for a league championship, although I think both teams are going to get in no matter what the result is here. Leland at 7-2, kind of a quiet 7-2 by the Chargers, going up against the 9-0 Rams. Christian, you're familiar with both of these teams. I'm going to let you pick first.
Yeah, like you said, Leland has just kind of been quietly rolling right along under the radar. They've had a really good year in league play. I think I'm going to have to go to Willow Glen, though. I mean, Willow Glen has really shown an ability to control the game with the run game that not a lot of teams have. I mean, they've had some games where they've had, I think, 300, 350 rushing yards, things like that. Their quarterback, Aiden Akery, really gets involved in the run game. He's had several 100-yard games this year. So I'm going with Willow Glen at home.
Nathan, do you agree with Christian?
I do. I think Willow Glen has proven they can win close, they can win big, they can blow people out. I think they've just been so consistent this year, and I'm going to pick them in this game.
Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, I want to go with Willow Glen, but I'm looking at Leland. They've won 5 in a row, and they've kind of handled business the last 5 weeks. And I mean, they seem to be peaking at the right time. Obviously, if you're Willow Glen, if you're 9-0, you've been peaking the whole year. But I'll pick the upset. Give me Leland.
And well, you're the only one going with the Chargers. I've got Willow Glen winning. Lefkow's got Willow Glen winning, and the computer at Cal Preps has Willow Glen winning 28-17. Next on the list, and while we're picking here, if somebody wants to look and see what the computer has for the Granada Livermore game, we can add that when we talk about that a little later in the show. But we're going to move on to Friday night, where Las Lomas will be traveling the short distance. I think it's literally, like, without traffic, probably like a 5-minute drive, right, from Las Lomas to Acalanes, where it'll be 6-3 Las Lomas going up against 7-2 Acalanes. Nice feature by Joseph today on the Acalanes exchange student from Britain.
Yes.
He looks like he's a tough dude.
He is. And I found out that he actually took a visit to Columbia and Wyoming recently. So he is getting some college interest.
There you go. We got to update that story. But anyhow, Acalanes is at home going for the outright league championship, which they thought they were going to get last year. They have not won an outright league title since 1981. That was a long time ago. So will they get it done Friday night? Let's start with Nathan.
I think they do. I think their offense is rolling. I think the win against Campo last week proved that they can win it close. So I'm going to go with Acalanes here.
Christian?
Yeah, I've kind of been riding with Las Lomas a few times this year, and it's burned me. And I just think Acalanes is the better team here, playing at home. They have that explosive offense, and it seems like they really figured things out this year. I don't know if they're a quiet 7-2 like we talked about with some teams, but they've just kind of been getting it done all year. I think they do it again this week.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm going with Acalanes. Hopefully for the fans, the weather's a little bit better than it was last week when it was just dumping buckets of rain. But I will say the Acalanes student section, they stayed for the whole game. Then they rushed the field after they won and tried to plant their flag at midfield, but because it's turf, just kind of fell over.
It fell over, but they got the job done.
They got the job
They
done.
went out there. This is going to be a clean sweep for Acalanes in these picks because Lefkow's got Acalanes, I've got Acalanes, and the computer has Acalanes 35-21. Next on the list is the Island Bowl, which, Joseph, you're going to be there in Alameda, Thompson Field to see Alameda take on Encinal. Alameda's at 7-2, taking on Encinal 4-5. I've got Alameda winning. Lefkow's got Alameda winning. Joseph, who you got?
You know what? I'm going to go with the upset again. I think Encinal wins it. I remember a few years ago, I'm pretty sure it was that Encinal won one game the entire year, and that one game was against Alameda. So you can throw the records out whenever these teams play. Encinal's also been kind of a little bit of a hot streak here, so they might be peaking at the right time.
Christian?
Yeah, I think Alameda's got it. I think they've just been the more consistent team all year, and I think they'll handle this one.
Nathan?
Yeah, I'm going with Alameda, but I will say Encinal, like Joseph said, has been kind of rolling, and I think to be in the thick of a league title with the start they had, I think is commendable. But I do think Alameda's defense is going to be the difference here.
All right, I've got Alameda winning as well. Lefkow's got Alameda, and the computer has Alameda winning 41-17. Next on the list is a game in Sunnyvale where the Kings Academy, which is taking a little bit of a step back this season at 4-5. Is going to be playing Cappuccino at 8-1. Cappuccino is rolling right towards the playoffs. Joseph, are they going to keep rolling?
I think they're going to keep rolling. Although I will say the Kings Academy, they got that big upset win over Burlingame a few weeks ago.
They did.
Burlingame beat Wilcox, so by transitive property, I guess Kings Academy is better than Wilcox. But anywho,
no. Cappuccino. All right, Christian.
Yeah, well, that's some interesting transitive property there, Joseph. I do know Cappuccino beat Burlingame 21-7 last week. And I think Burlingame's a pretty good team. And I think Cappuccino may have had the quietest 8-1 season ever. And I think they're going to make it 9-1 this week.
Nathan, you agree?
I do agree. I think Cappuccino is going to win this game. I think they've been pretty consistent all year. I will say, yeah, TK can upset. They proved it against Burlingame, but I think Cappuccino, just the talent gap is going to be a little bit too big. So I'm going Cappuccino.
Clean sweep for Cappuccino, as I'm taking the Cappuccino. Lefkow's taking Cappuccino, and the computer's taking Cappuccino 28-14. Next game on the list, this is the Brentwood Bowl, where Liberty at 6-3, taking on Heritage at 6-3. Liberty has won 8 in a row in this series, but do we know if the Liberty coach is going to be there, Joseph?
We do not.
Brentwood Press reported that he wasn't there last week, right?
They did.
But we don't know why. So anyhow, whether Mike Cable is there or not, big game in Brentwood. Nathan, I'll let you go first. Who you got in this Brentwood Bowl?
I got Liberty. I think even bigger loss for Heritage has been their quarterback. Philip Babbitt hasn't played the last 3 or 4 games. So I think in this matchup, I think it's going to come down to who has the better quarterback, and I think Liberty and Sage Robertson is going to take this one.
Christian?
Yeah, as Joseph looked up a little while ago, as Thomas Payne said, give me Liberty. Anytime you have a quarterback that can throw 6 touchdowns in a game, I'm definitely gonna lean toward you. So I'm going with Liberty.
Joseph?
I'm going to lean toward Liberty, but that's because of their passing game. Jackson Bell is one of the best running backs in the Bay Area, and I just think they're going to be too much for Heritage to handle.
I'm also going Liberty. Lefkow going against the grain. He's taking Heritage to win this one, and the computer has Liberty winning 35-14. Next one on the list, Los Gatos. This is a rivalry game against Palo Alto. Palo Alto's at 5-4. Los Gatos at 7-2. Los Gatos coming off that tough loss last week at home to Wilcox. I think the Wildcats bounce back big in this one. I'm taking the Cats. Lefkow's taking the Cats. Computer's taking the Cats by 28, 35-7. Christian, Los Gatos going to bounce back this week.
I would not want to beat Palo Alto this week. That's all I have to say. Los Gatos, I'm sure, will be unhappy after the way things played out last week against Wilcox. It's not like the Wildcats exactly played an overwhelmingly terrible game. There were just kind of a few momentum swings here or there, and it basically came down to the final play. So I think Los Gatos is going to roll this week.
Nathan?
I agree. I think Los Gatos wins big. An emotional loss last week. I think they're going to bounce back, and I got Los Gatos in this one.
Joseph?
Yeah, Los Gatos all the way.
All right. Next one on the list is Carlmont traveling down to play Sequoia. Rivalry game here. Both teams at 5-4, although Sequoia's 5-4 is a very impressive 5 consecutive wins, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And can win the outright league championship in this division on Friday night at home, which I assume is senior night. They got a big win last week. Huge win last week in overtime against San Mateo, correct?
Yes. 13-7.
13-7. Great story by Dave Kiefer, who's been contributing to our coverage this season. I think Sequoia gets it done, wins the outright league title, goes 6-4. Lefkow's got Sequoia. Nathan, who do you got?
Well, I think last week I was the only guy who was on the Sequoia train, and if I remember correctly, someone said I was drinking Kool-Aid. For Sequoia. So I'm going to go Sequoia again. I think George Crockett is going to have another big game, and I think they get the outright league title this week.
Joseph, was that you who said he was drinking Kool-Aid?
I was, and now I'm switching up. I'm on, I'm a believer. I thought Sequoia was on there like when Sandy run, but you know what? I think they're legit. So
Sequoia.
Ravens win.
Christian?
Well, I'm going to spit that Sequoia Kool-Aid right out. I kind of think Carlmont might win this one. I know they're going to have to go on the road, but they've had some really good wins this year. They really beat Terra Nova by a lot. They beat South San Francisco, which I think we all think is a pretty good team. And Sequoia's had a lot of close wins. So I think this could be the week that things flip for them, but we'll see.
All right. Christian's the only one going with – no, the computer has Carlmont winning 27-22. Lefkow's going Sequoia, and I'm going Sequoia. So Christian and the computer thinking alike. Game 9 on the list, Bishop O'Dowd at San Leandro. Nathan, you saw the Dragons last week. They're 7-2. They're going. Is this the outright league title if they win, or have they already gotten the
They've
outright?
already locked it up. Yeah, they have the
All right.
tiebreaker, which is the second.
All right. So I don't think the Dragons are going to slow down. I see them winning. Lefkow's got them winning. Nathan, you got the Dragons, or you think the Pirates are going to pull off the upset?
I got the Dragons. I think they're really peaking at the right time. It felt like I watched them early in the season. They still had some hiccups with their offense in terms of, are they a rushing team? Can they throw the ball? They've kind of all put it together now, and I think it's a scary sight for any team that's playing them in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to go with O'Dowd.
Christian?
Yeah, from reading Nathan's Monday Morning Lights item, it sounds like they can just roll out 2 new running backs if they need to. And we got Hardy Nickerson posting Dragon gifts on Twitter. So I'm taking O'Dowd this week.
Joseph?
Yeah, if I could, if we wouldn't get copyright struck, I would be playing Kendrick Lamar right now. I think the Dragons are peaking they are rolling right now. I think they beat San Leandro, but I think San Leandro's had a good season. They only won 2 games last year.
Yeah,
They've
they got
been
5 wins this season.
Much improved.
Definitely. And Lefkow's got O'Dowd. I've got O'Dowd. The computer has O'Dowd 35-13. This next one on the list was a little tough to pick. We have 2, 4, and 5 teams, arch rivals, bitter rivals in Campolindo and Miramonte. Campolindo had a rivalry game last week.
They did.
And lost. I think Miramonte is as big, if not a bigger rival for Campo than Aka, right?
Mm-hmm.
Campolindo has won 13 in a row in this series. Last loss to Miramonte was in 2010. Joseph, does that streak continue?
You know, I talked to Kevin Macy after their loss, and he said our season is Miramonte or bust, and I think their season is going to continue. Campolindo wins a tight one, like 21-17.
Ooh, Nathan, you agree?
I agree. I think Campolindo, after just an emotional loss last week, is going to bounce back. I think they actually win this one a little bit bigger. I think they'll go like 28-10. I think they'll beat Miramonte.
Christian?
Yeah, I'm going with Campo. Kind of that back-to-back rivalry game. I know we talked about Michigan State with the whole flag planning. Well, I think if this is their Ohio State, then they're going to turn around and beat them this week.
I also have Campo winning. And Lefkow has Campo winning, and the computer has Campo winning. What did you say, 21-17, Joseph?
Yes.
Computer says 22-17. So you guys are thinking right along the lines with the computer. Another rivalry game, the Valpo Bowl. These teams share a fence, I believe, in Atherton, where it'll be Menlo School. Traveling that do they walk to this game? Do they
jog to the game?
Do they get a bus to go like a block?
They all walk up to the fence line together, and then they all hop it at the same time.
Come out one driveway and have the bus go to the next driveway. Is that what they're going to do?
Actually, the fence is retractable, and they just drive right through.
Right through. Well, anyhow, these rivals are going to play, and I think Sacred Heart Prep is playing for its playoff life to try to get into the CCS playoffs. They're 4-5. Got a big win last week over Menlo Atherton. Sacred Heart Prep's defense came to play, winning that game 21-7. I think the Gators are going to get it done. I'm taking Sacred Heart Prep to go 5-5 and get into the playoffs. Lefkow disagrees. He's going Menlo School. Joseph, who you got?
Call me a prisoner of the moment. Sacred Heart Prep.
All right. Nathan?
Going Menlo. I think Jack Freehill and that offense is going to come alive again in this game. So give me Menlo.
Christian?
Yeah, I like Sacred Heart Prep as a team. I saw them against Wilcox. I just think Menlo School maybe got a little more in the passing game. I don't think, the fact that it's so close by, it'll probably be close to a home game, pretty even fan distribution. So I'm going to go with Menlo.
The computer also is going with Menlo 24-21. So this should be a great game. Next on the list, Dave Keeper is going to be at this game for us. Where Sarah in his one night game on its own campus. They get one per season, and this one is it. They, man, Joseph, Sarah's 4-5. They got a
They
win.
are.
They got a win over Folsom to open the season. They've won 3 games since then. I don't think any of us had Sarah going under 500 in the regular season, did we? No. Valley at 5-4. Had a tough loss last week to St. Francis, where they gave up a gazillion big plays. It seemed like, reading Glenn Reeves' story. Joseph, I'm gonna let you go first. You saw, are the Padres going to bounce back and go to 5-5 heading into the playoffs?
I think they will. And I think that, I mean, they lost to St. Francis by 6. They lost to Riordan by 6. They lost to St. Ignatius by 2? So, I mean, they've lost WCAL games, but it's not like they're getting blown out by these teams. I think they're better than their record shows.
Okay. Christian, who's going to win this one?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Sarah too. The one thing, it's interesting what Joseph just said. They play a lot of close games. Part of that is they're just a solid team that's, hard to pull away from. They also don't have a ton of explosive elements on their offense. But
That is also true.
yes, but I think they have enough to get it done this week.
Nathan?
Wow, Christian, I thought you were gonna vote for the team with your name in it. I'm going
No.
Valley Christian.
I keep betraying them. Sorry, Mike.
I'll go in VC. I think, like you guys said, VC gives up a lot of explosive plays, but I don't see Sarah having a lot of explosive plays. So if VC could kind of just keep the Sarah's offense in front of them, I think they can really win this one. I'm going Valley Christian.
Wow. All right. I'm going Sarah. Lefkow's going Sarah. The computer's going Sarah, but this is going to be a barn burner according to the computer. 19-17. All right. 4 more games on the list because we added one. So let's go through these quickly. Mount Diablo and Northgate. This is going to be at Northgate. The DAL went to 3 divisions this year, but the bottom 2 divisions are basically the same, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's like so anyhow, they get 2 automatic playoff spots in the division. We know one's going to Acalanes. The other one is going to go to the winner of this game between Mount Diablo and Northgate. Nathan, you saw Northgate this season. You expect an electric atmosphere there in Walnut Creek as I
do.
Right,
I've seen both teams. Mount Diablo. I think Mount Diablo has an underrated atmosphere as well.
Okay.
I kind of compare this game. It's like Mount Diablo's if we're talking about boxing, it's like KO puncher versus Northgate is the iron chin with great stamina. And I think Mount Diablo is going to get the knockout punch because I think their running game is really good. The game I watched, Northgate, they struggled a little bit containing Las Lomas on the ground. So I'm going to go with Mount Diablo on this one, a very close win for Mount Diablo.
Wow. Christian, you agree?
Well, first of all, I need to print out a banner to put on my desk that says Iron Shin with great stamina because that's excellent. But I'm going with Northgate. I mean, they had a huge win over Las Lomas. I know I keep going on about how good Las Lomas is, but I think Northgate's pretty good too. And they got an electric atmosphere at home. I remember seeing that video of the student section of that game. It was packed out. So I'm going with Northgate.
Joseph.
I kind of agree with Nathan. I was grinding the film yesterday. And watching 30 seconds of a huddle highlight of Antonio Campbell. And I was like, wow, this guy's really explosive. They've got some great running backs back there. And I think at this point in the season, a good running back is about as valuable as anything you can have. So Mount Diablo.
All right. Well, Lefkow's going Northgate, and I am going with Northgate as well. Because this is a late add to the schedule, Cal Preps didn't have this game listed under the North Coast section. I guess I could have gone in and typed in the names, but I did not. So if one of you guys want to do that before the end of the show, great. We only have a couple more games left. This is the little big game on Saturday morning where Burlingame will be at home to play San Mateo. Burlingame had won 13 in a row in this series until last season when San Mateo won 17-14. Both of these teams have had really nice seasons. San Mateo at 7-2 lost a heartbreaker last week to Sequoia. Burlingame 6-3 has the win over Wilcox, but lost last week to, I believe, Cappuccino. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, who wins this little big game, Nathan?
I got San Mateo. I think they've just been a little more consistent this year. Even though they lost to Sequoia, it was really close. So give me San Mateo.
Christian.
Yeah, I'm foreseeing a little big win for Burlingame. We've talked about, I think that's a really darn good football team, as the coaches like to say. They beat Wilcox. They've just had impressive results all year. They've had some losses that have been a little puzzling, but I would want to play an 11 a.m. Saturday game at home. That's all I have to say about that. So I'm going with Burlingame.
Joseph.
Yeah, for pretty much the same reason that Christian said. If I'm going to play an 11 a.m. game, I better be playing at home. So just for that, Burlingame.
All right. I agree with you, Joseph. I'm going to go with Burlingame at home. If this game were at San Mateo, I'd probably go the other way. I think it's going to be close. Lefkow's got Burlingame, and the computer has Burlingame winning 21-14. This next game, Joseph, you're going to be there in San Francisco, where Riordan, which at the beginning of the season, I think we picked Riordan to win the league.
We did.
They're not going to win the league, but they have 2 losses in league play. They can continue their momentum towards the playoffs. They're 5-4. They're going to be playing a really, really, really good St. Francis team at 8-1. St. Francis's only loss was to De La Salle. The Lancers have swept through the WCAL, so they've clinched at least a tie. We got to assume they're going to have to win this game because I assume we all expect SI to beat Midi on Friday.
We do.
Okay. So St. Francis is going to need to win this game. Joseph, are they going to get it done?
I'm going to say yes, but Riordan does seem to be peaking at the right time.
It seems like Riordan, after that Valley Christian game, something was said because they are playing much better the last couple of weeks. Christian, you were at that Valley Christian game when you saw Riordan get beat. Is Riordan going to take down St. Francis to prevent the Lancers from winning the outright WCAL title?
Yeah, I was there, and a few things were said. I think they've kind of righted the ship. I was really feeling St. Francis going into it this week. The fact that Riordan was able to beat Sarah gives me pause. But again, I think those explosive plays from St. Francis. I mean, I don't think Riordan's run defense is that great, and they're going to have a test like I don't think they've faced all year in Kingston, Keon, Ina. So I think St. Francis will be motivated to get a perfect league season and an unblemished, unshared league title, and I think they get it done.
Christian just added some bulletin board material for Riordan and their run defense. So I'm sure
they proved me wrong.
Nathan, you've kind of been on the Riordan bandwagon. Is Riordan going to get it done Saturday at home, which I assume is senior night or senior day? They're going to beat St. Francis.
Well, I would like to say I was also on an island on this last week with when they played Sarah. So I'm going to go with the Riordan again. I think this is why. I think that they have there's teams, at the end of the season where they're playing to ruin other people's season. That has Riordan written all over this game for me. And I think being at home on a senior night is going to be pretty important. They have some seniors that are going to be moving on to the next level. So I think it'll be an important game for them. And I think they get this game just off the fact that I think they're going to try to ruin St. Francis's outright league title hopes.
I've got St. Francis, but I also had Sarah winning. Lefkow's got St. Francis, and the computer has St. Francis winning 35-26. I think Christian wants to add something. What do you want to add, Christian?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, I mentioned the run defense. One thing Riordan will have to deal with, and they have the guys who can do this, but they got a lot of guys playing both ways on the line. I don't think St. Francis has that problem as much. So I think that's going to play a role in this game, perhaps.
All right. We're going to add one more game to our list. We talked about it earlier in the show where Granada is going to be making the short trip to play Livermore. Did we get a Lefkow pick?
We did. Do you want me to reveal it now, or do you?
No, let's hold off. So it's going to be Granada at Livermore for the Valley Division title of the EBAL. I'm going to let Nathan go first and see if he picks against his alma mater.
Oh, no, that is not happening. I don't think I would be able to go back to my alma mater if I picked against them in a game with this magnitude. But on a good note, on a serious note, I do think that Granada's defense has been really underrated the last couple of weeks. They've held some good teams to, I think, Foothill. I think they held them to like 7 or 10 points. I think they have the defense to stop a really explosive Livermore offense that includes Kamari Robinson, Their quarterback, Mateo Lordi. I think they get this one. I think it'll be really close. If I had to predict a score, I think it's going to be something like 17-14 Granada. And I think they're going to get a last, maybe a last-second field goal to end it. I think that might be a scenario that's in my head right now.
Christian, you on the Granada bandwagon?
I am. I can't go against Nathan. I appreciate and cherish him too much. And I think Granada is a pretty darn good football team. Also, Matador is an elite mascot. I'm just going to put that out there. So let's go with Granada.
There you go. Joseph, who you got?
Nathan, I was expecting you to do a Lee Corso and have like a Granada helmet that you're going to put on as you made your pick. I'm going with Livermore. I mean, they're playing at home. Granted, I'm sure that both sides are going to be well represented in the stands. Question for Nathan. How early do you think you have to get there to get some parking?
Oh, if school ends, I believe school ends for schools at around 3:30. I would try to get there at like 5. That'd be my guess. I think I remember the last time I went to this, I was my senior year of high school, and if you were a student, the word was, and this is when both teams were. I don't think we're in any type of EBL playoff contention. Any type of playoff contention. I think you have to get there at like 4:30. So 5, I think, is going to be where I would, if you were to come, 5 o'clock. Also, the game is at Granada, by the way.
Oh, it's at Granada. Okay.
At Granada, yeah.
Livermore at Granada. All right. Yeah. Joseph, you still taking Livermore?
I'm still taking Livermore.
I'm not taking Livermore. I'm going to take Granada to win this game. I just think they have a little bit too much for Livermore. Who's got Lefkow taken?
Lefkow is going with Livermore.
Oh, okay. And the computer, did anybody look?
I could look it up.
And we're going to
look. But while we're waiting for that, I did look up. Well, actually, no, never mind. It just X'd out. Shoot.
Well, also, I'll add this. Brandon Black, a first-year coach. It didn't look good for Granada to start the year. 2-4, I think, is where they were. And then they just ran off 3 straight. So, yeah, it's very impressive. I think maybe some people counted out Granada.
They are predicted. So Cal Preps has it as a neutral field, which, to be honest, I feel like this game is probably about as close to a neutral field as you can, right?
Yeah.
They have Granada 31.
Christian's got something to add before we get to that pick.
The computer has Granada 31, Livermore 24.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see if it was wrong. Right?
We will.
Joseph, this is the I think this is the 2-year anniversary of your most infamous pick.
Yes.
We didn't add it to our list here.
No.
But 2 years ago, when De La Salle made that trip to Clayton Valley, if we could rewind the tape, we would, but we can't. Tell the viewers who you picked.
I picked Clayton Valley. I remember 18 points. I just vividly remember that I said, Clayton Valley is going to win by 18 points. Mind you, I had never watched De La Salle play in person. I had seen one Clayton Valley game where I think they blew out whoever they were playing. And I was like, oh, yeah, this Clayton Valley team is good. And apparently, sources say that they taped my prediction to every single locker as bulletin board material. And De La Salle won, was it 49-7 or something like that?
It was a running clock.
Yeah. I was actually going to say, while we're on this topic, my other infamous prediction from 2022 was I wrote an article about how Oakland Tech was they had the best team since Marshawn Lynch and that they were going to challenge McClymonds. And McClymonds did something similar, and they ended up winning 42-14. McClymonds is playing Oakland Tech this week, and I have sources in Oakland saying that McClymonds wants to beat Oakland Tech 60-0. We will see. We will see if that comes true or not.
Wow. I think the Bulldogs are better than that.
I think they are too.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have anything else to add. Check us out, mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com. Any closing thoughts real quick? We've gone along here. Anybody have anything? If not, we'll wrap it up. Good?
One rivalry game. I think this is the big little game between Pittsburgh and Antioch. That's usually a big deal up there in East Contra Costa County. So I will shout that game out.
Does Antioch have a chance of pulling off the upset? Antioch's been playing a little bit better.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think Curtis Tucker's a great player, great running back for Antioch, but they're gonna need a little bit more than that to beat the number 2 team in our rankings.
They need Najee Harris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring Najee Harris off the bench as a ring.
Then you might have a chance. All right, guys, that is a wrap for week 11.